In the days of the Galactic Republic, the Galactic Credit Standard, or Credit, was the currency that was primarily used throughout the galaxy. The Intergalactic Banking clan was the main influence on the currency, but the supposedly neutral representatives from old banking families began an alliance with the Confederacy of Independent systems and their leader Count Dooku, leading to their downfall and the decline of the Credit. Near the end of the war, the senators of Padme Amidala and Rush Clovis had managed to obtain proof of the corruption of the clan, and files that proved the vaults on Scipio were empty. The resulting appointment of Clovis as the head of the banking clan after the arrest of the Core 5 led to further increases in interest rates, and Palpatine's promise for the clan to have its reputation restored after the Clone War was merely symbolic, and the Galactic Credit eventually became worthless. But what if every person in the galaxy received 10,000 credits? How would this affect the economy? Would either the Jedi or the Sith be able to take advantage? How would the credits be used? As you shall discover, a lot could have been different. The Jedi Council had been seated comfortably in their tower, providing details of their next mission to Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano, when the unexpected hologram of Senator Padme Amidala appeared in the centre of the room. The senator reported of the terrifying discovery that the IBC was utilising a 25% interest rate on its loans to both sides, before being interrupted by Senator Bail Organa. The Alderaanian senator reported of a 10,000 credit increase in the accounts of all those on Alderaan, and Grandmaster Yoda had also just received the news that every member of the Jedi Order had also received the same amount. Anakin and Ahsoka buzzing on their feet as they can finally order a new hyperdrive for their starfighter, but Obi-Wan is wary that this could be some sort of glitch in the accounts of those across the galaxy. In the office of the Supreme Chancellor, Palpatine had just received a disturbing development of the increase in the quantity of money across the worlds. The Sith Lord immediately contacts the Moonless banker and senator Nix Cardon Scipio, and he also did not have an explanation for the rising credits. There had been an immediate devaluation of the Galactic Credit Standard, and the shops across the galaxy were inflating their prices of their products and services at an alarming rate, so Palpatine had to react. The Chancellor entered into his speeder outside of the building and headed to the primary arena with the other senators. But as he calmly travelled, he sensed something wrong in the Force and leapt out to the ground beneath him as a detonator, along with numerous other objects, struck the side of the ship, and the Jedi are quick to rush to the Chancellor's side. Anakin escorted the Chancellor to the Senate building as the clones began to round up the attackers, most of whom were disgruntled merchants affected by the devaluation of the credit. Palpatine eventually made it safely into his Senate pod, and he had been met by a chorus of jeers, but bravely declared they would continue with the intergalactic currency exchanges policy, and that most of it would actually be reinvested into the war effort. The Jedi seated in one of the exterior Senate pods looked in confusion, as they thought that Palpatine would have taken a more severe measure to get rid of the credits, instead of supporting the development. An immediate discussion took place at the temple, and they decided to not spend what they had gained in the Republic war effort for now, but instead they choose to quickly invest in planets not using the credit. The Jedi are able to gain assets in key areas such as oil and fuel, a lot of which have been gambling on the currency, returning to its previous value. Members of the Jedi such as Anakin and Ahsoka mixed their investments with purchases to improve their equipment, all of which had to be approved by the Jedi Council. For the clone army, the sudden influx of credits presents a problem, as the clones in the earlier stages of development had not received their 10,000 credits, and on Kamino, a mutiny had arisen from the newly inducted clones. The Jedi had been alerted to the uprising, and dispatched Master T and Master Kenobi to stop the attack, as the Jedi and the Republic plead for the Chancellor and the Senate to pass a bill to temporarily stop the production of the clone army. Palpatine is left with little choice, as the deaths of many clones was a hindrance to the Sith Lord's plans to eventually execute Order 66. To counter the pause in production, Palpatine secretly asked Poggle the Lesser on Geonosis to stop production in the droid army, and this would ensure that the Republic could not simply surrender quickly. Nowhere was this felt more severely than in the system of Sullust, where Anakin and Ahsoka had been leading their forces against Asajj Ventress. Dooku had been ordered by his master to eliminate Ventress, wary of increasing power, and as his hologram disappeared, it was soon replaced by a member of the Separatist Alliance, telling him that there had been an order in Geonosis to pause the production of droids. Dooku knew that this had been the order from his master, and he felt disgusted and betrayed that Sidious had abandoned the Separatist war effort. Rather than order for the death of Ventress, Dooku decided he would train her in the dark side of the Force and hope to defeat Sidious. The Night Sister, however, had been occupied with Anakin and Ahsoka, both of whom had found our way to her warship, and after a short duel, Anakin overpowers the Dathomirian and orders for her to surrender. Ventress pushed the Jedi back into the walls of the ship and leapt out back to her personal ship, returning to Dooku for a surprising development. That is it for part 1 of What If Every Star Wars character received $10,000. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.